What I am is a father and a husband and a farmer. But what I do is I practice agriculture, and I'm a pilot, and those are the things I do. So when you separate those, then you can say when you first thought you wanted to be a farmer, and I think it was when I was 5. But it's not a steady progression. You know, so many people think that you make a choice, whether it's a career choice or a choice about something, and then it's a linear rise up. It just isn't. And I think it's full of peaks and hopefully plateaus. And I think it's successful if you keep the valleys out of it. And I think a lot of the way to keep valleys out of it is sometimes luck. But I really don't believe in luck. I think luck is just the intersection of opportunity and attitude. 22 years old, I'm given a lot of opportunities. I have a brand new degree out of UW-Madison. I had an opportunity to go to the United Arab Emirates and build the biggest dairy in the world. I had an opportunity to come back to the farm. And I was also accepted into the first vet school at UW-Madison in 1982. And so I had a lot of decisions to make. Fortunately, I had really good mentors. My father, my grandfather still at the time, my professors in Madison, Dr. Robert Bremmel and Dr. Neil First were some of my advisors. And we all sat down at a table and looked at all these options. I told Dad, you know, I'll come back, and we decided that I would be an employee for 5 years, not have any equity. And then after that, I would work into a partnership with my father. In those years, I kind of call the fa years. Farming, family, and fatherhood. 22 to 44. Again, I was lucky. I had my grandfather as a mentor. I had my father as a mentor. I had UW to fall back on. And not everybody's that lucky to have people like that to mentor them and get them to the next level. So here I am, I'm 44, my dad wants to retire. During that time, we had started working on succession planning with George Tewig. George really opened our eyes and put options out there that we'd never really thought of before. And he really cemented it in our heads that this succession plan isn't written in stone. You know, this is a general guideline. It's going to change, folks. People are going to, change their minds. People are going to step in and out. But the important part was getting that foundation laid so that we had something to change, or we had a goal to achieve. And how do you know when you've achieved a goal if you didn't set the goal in the first place? So I'm 44 years old. My father wants to retire. We had an excellent plan set up. It went seamlessly. He moved off the farm. They said, this was funny. They said, George, I believe, said it, and I believe the UW-Madison people said it too. Your father has to be at least 10 miles away from the farm, otherwise he's too convenient. As we moved into the next phase, I'm 57 years old. Zoe was Alice in Dairyland, and we had some heart-to-heart discussions. She wanted to get back into agriculture. And our facilities were worn out. We'd been patching and fixing, and I really didn't know what the future was going to hold. I never told my daughters that they had to do agriculture, but they knew it was there as an option. And what happened was Zoe and I had a heart-to-heart, and I said, look, I think what we should do is sell the cows. The buildings are, falling apart. Let's just be a grain farm. And Zoe said, Dad, if it's going to be a grain farm, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't do tractors. I don't do agronomy. I love cows. So we sat down at a table and we drew this. And Zoe and I designed this, and the whole family really had input, but Zoe and I were the drivers. And from the ground up, excuse me, we designed this facility. And people ask us, you're not engineers, how do you do that? And I told everybody, I've got 50 years of what I know doesn't work. So will all of this work? Yeah, probably not. But if 51% of it does, then you look like a genius. Part of the design of this place was all around nutrient management. We knew we had to do a better job with nutrient management. Daily haul wasn't the answer for nutrient management. A manure pit isn't the answer for manure management. We knew that we had to put some kind of wastewater treatment plant in, And we started researching into the co-digester technology, and it just checks all the boxes for us. So it allows us to separate our nutrients so that we can micromanage our nutrients just like we do synthetic fertilizers. So we can separate the phosphorus from the nitrogen, from the potassium, and then we can go and variable rate those fertilizers just like we do with commercial fertilizer. And we can eliminate the risk of pathogens that are in normal manure. At the same time, we're keeping food waste out of landfills. So by bringing in food waste, mixing it with our manure, we're creating an organic, natural fertilizer that we can market and create another revenue stream for the farm. We built this. We expanded from 250 cows to now 700 cows, and all of our young stock. So we're CAFO. There's always 1,300 to 1,400 animals here. And Zoe and I then she became an equity partner. And again, with the succession plan, she's gaining equity every year. And now Sydney is starting to think that she's going to probably team up with Zoe, and she's going to become a partner as well at some point. This phase, I would probably call my ma phase. So we went from fa, and now it's ma. I can now manage, market, and make a difference. And the making a difference part is giving back. So being on the school board and now being president of the school board, and being able to donate my time and having the time to do other things other than the day-to-day, because the girls are pretty much handling the day-to-day now. What the future holds, we probably have slightly divergent outlooks. I think we both agree on getting out of the way without going away. It's just so much fun to be here and watch our daughters take this place to heights we never thought were possible. I think Donna I would probably say that I would farm forever, but she might say, wait a minute. So there's nothing I would rather do, and I'm the luckiest guy in the world to have daughters like this that are so capable.